Bounce when she walk, then bounce when she walk, bounce when she walk, clap when she walk, clap when she walk, clap when she walk, clap.
I'm gonna tell what I'm doing this because I'm hungry as fuck. Yeah, man. So we are doing a Top G reaction. It's been too long, man. I've seen Top G on my YouTube page. Good reason, bad reason, I don't know, man. And I mean, you can see I'm starting the interview not in the beginning, but at the later stages of the interviews, because in the first part of the interview, they're talking about the Palestine versus Israel war. And for me personally, I'm from Uganda. I have my views on it, and I don't think you know that meme. I think I'm gonna if I can find it, then I will post it. But it's a meme of if I started sharing my opinions, and it's like a guy getting searched by the FBI. I think it was taken from a show, whether it's Rick and Morty or I don't know. I think it's Rick and Morty because of the type of animation it is. So yeah, let's get into it.
Nothing justifies what they did. Let me ask you about the reaction that you've had from certain people who I think at one stage you had a good relationship with.
Sure.
One is Jordan Peterson, and the other one Ben Shapiro. Let's talk about Jordan first.
Sure.
Put context on it. Jordan Peterson is well renowned for clinical psychologist. He speaks about how men should improve themselves. Ben Shapiro, I don't know what Ben Shapiro is, actually, now that I think about it. But it's usually like a truth speaker, part of the red pill, but I'll call it the orange pill, Like red pill in a very sensible manner. Do you get? I think Jordan Peterson stopped being red pill too much when he started getting a lot of backlash that he couldn't handle. You get? And then he stopped it. But if you know him, I think Ben Shapiro is renounced or very known for like Candace Owen type vibe. He's known for those type of things where like he's having arguments, he's having talks in universities, and then some students interrupt it, and then he sort of like he sort of outsmarts them in the conversation or something like that.
You've had a bit of a to and fro with him. But what is your view of him?
I think Jordan and I actually agree on many issues. I think the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I think we have a lot more in common than we have that we disagree on. We have different views of the world on certain things. I think we approach him from different places. He's far more in his mind, whereas I've been more in a physical realm than he does. I have nothing against Jordan. I don't dislike him. I do find it, and I must be honest, a bit disingenuous and hypocritical that he speaks mental strength and then ends up addicted to an antidepressant. I don't think he should ever take antidepressants ever. I've been through worse than what he's been through, and I didn't take a single drug. However, I have nothing against the guy. He says very intelligent things, and
antidepressants, bro. So this year was a very tough year for me. When I think about this year, sometimes I just tear up. Not that I'm crying, but I'm like tearing up because of how bad I've had it. It has to be one of my worst years in the world, and there were so many blessings in that year, but in this year, but I couldn't accept them or come to terms with them because of how bad this year was. You get? So it got to a point where I went to a therapist. Not a therapist, but there's something there at Go See Health where you get to talk to someone and they get to prescribe medicine to you. And they did, bro, but I never used them because in my head, if I can't get through something on my own, then I'm never gonna get through it. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's like, God didn't put me in this situation for me to somehow take pills that can somehow take me out of that situation, you know, or make me feel like I'm out of that situation. Sometimes you gotta deal with whatever you're going through when you're going through it. So I kind of get where Andrew Tate is going, because he believes that depression doesn't exist. Like, you shouldn't allow something that's in your mind to control you. And Jordan Peterson is someone that also advocates for mental health and mental strength and being powerful in your masculinity. So the fact that it's one antidepressant is kind of very not his comprehension. It's a big word there. I don't think I pronounced it properly, but yeah.
I'd be interested to argue with him or discuss or debate with him, but I think we'd actually agree on most points, to be honest with you. I don't think he may be unhappy with somehow how I've lived my life and some things I've done, but we've already discussed the fact that I come from the lowest income area of the UK and most people around me were selling drugs, so at least I didn't do that. So I'm not going to allow somebody who's a professor in a university who's had an easy life come along and tell me how people from the streets should survive. You have to find a way out. Let's get rich or die trying. But I have nothing against the guy. I just think that he's been a bit hypocritical. And then, truthfully, the only time I've been genuinely a bit appalled by any of his actions was the tweet he made on Israel-Palestine when he said, "Give them hell." I know that's an easy thing to say, and it's an expression that people use and they throw it around flippantly. But I think when you actually wish hell upon other human beings, I think it's a disgusting thing to do, because hell is that 15-year-old girl with no legs and her parents were dead. Well, hell is, you see her crying her eyes out, begging to die. That is hell. And I don't think you should genuinely wish hell on anyone, Israel or Palestinian, anyone. I'm a humanist. I don't want anybody to die. Well, when he was wishing.
And by the way, this is where I stand with it, right? This is like my standpoint on the Israel and Palestinian war, right? I feel like white people shouldn't talk about it, bro. I don't know why, bro, but there's this part of me that looks at it and goes, you're never going to experience that, so you shouldn't talk about it. Do you get what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that is because I feel like the world has been through so much because of white people, bro. You know? And it's not like a hate on white people or something like that, but I feel like the world has been through enough from white people. And there's the part of this interview where Andrew Tate is saying something, and then he says that other people's terrorists are other people's freedom fighters. And he says that to Piers Morgan that you probably would have thought that Nelson Mandela is a terrorist. Do you get? Which is true, bro. So many white people thought that the people that were fighting against apartheid, why am I saying that? Apartheid, yeah, apartheid, were terrorists, dog. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's like, there's something that triggered them doing whatever they're doing. You get? For you to be called exiled from your country, from a country that is supposed to be yours, and you are called that you are in exile. Do you get what I mean? Person who's in exile is a person who's a terrorist to his country. You can't be in exile if you're not a terrorist in your country, bro. If you're not recommended or assumed to be a terrorist in your country, you can't be in exile. Because who you're running away from? You get? You're just visiting a country, you're just traveling. You're not in exile. Do you get? I feel like that's what the EFF is also, why the EFF is so pro-Palestinian thingy. It's because of that whole thing, Oti. Bro, we've been through that. We understand what they're going through, and we can somewhat relate to it. And I'm not saying that what they did is justifiable, but I don't want to talk about it. But you hear what I'm saying? And for Jordan Peterson to say that I wish hell upon them, you hear what I'm saying? You can tell it's a white person response to it, bro. It's a white person response to it, bro. Like, genuinely speaking, it's a white person's response to it, bro. And I'm not saying all white people are like that, but I'm saying, like, on the core of white people when they get older, that's a white person's response to that situation, bro. Do you get? And apologies to all white people that are not as bad, but I'm just saying, you get, just as much as black people are associated with stealing And if something goes missing in a shop, or someone says I got hijacked, the first thing that we think about is a black person. Same here with me. If someone says that a group of people are being run in a specific way and they're being if I hear racism, I don't think of anything except white people. I don't think of anything. I know that this white person was racist to a black person, or a white person was racist to another type of skin color. Do you hear what I'm saying? So like when anything said that, I was like, makes sense.
Hell on an entire population.
He did express regret for the way he phrased
and
that.
he should,
And
because it's disgusting. I've not wished hell on the Israelis. I've not wished hell on the Israeli state. I don't want any Israeli civilian to go through what that 15-year-old Palestinian girl's going through. Not a single one.
He said about you, Jordan Peterson, I'm not particularly happy to be grouped with Andrew Tate. I think there are some elements about what he does that are quite reprehensible.
I'm sure he has. I don't know everything he says, and he may disagree with some of my point of view. As I said, I have nothing against him. I don't think anything he says is particularly wrong. I think that he's hypocritical because of the antidepressant problem, and I think that the fact he wishes hell on other humans because he gets emotionally involved in a conflict, which within 2 minutes of it sparking off, he's wishing genocide. I think that says a lot about his personality. But overall, when he speaks at length, a lot of the things he says are pretty well thought through and pretty constructive. I have nothing against the guy.
Let me turn to Ben Shapiro. So let me assure you, as someone who's not pimped women and bragged about it, that morality requires that those who rape women and kidnap women must be eradicated, not negotiated with. He says on my show, I won't be lectured on morality and toughness by Andrew Tate. His great idea of toughness and morality is pimping women and bragging about it on air, and then trying to quasi-walk it back while simultaneously maintaining many of the same positions and flexing his biceps. Listen, everyone should be able to tweet whatever it is they want. I'm all for an open discourse, even with people who I think are dead wrong on a lot of issues. But Andrew Tate is dead wrong on a lot of these issues. And the particularly ridiculous posturing about being yes, you're very tough when you want people to make peace with terrorists who've just murdered their children, very, very tough. What do you say to that?
So Ben is a warmonger. Ben has been wrong on basically every single issue you can name. He was with you with the vaccine and every other war. Ben is always calling for other people's young men to go and die in some war. He seems to love it. I don't know if he has short man syndrome, but he's always behind his desk calling about how important it is that big, strong men like me go and die. And the reason he tweeted that and said that is because when Hamas and Israel, very early in the conflict, I think it was 3 days in, were discussing possible peace talks, he tweeted, no, absolutely not, fuck them, kill them all. And I said, Ben, as a man who's done his own fighting, because I've had a life of pain and violence, listen to me. Peace is always worth a conversation. What I said is that we should always be prepared to at least discuss peace. Because he's a...
Revenue from a gas, dog. Have you ever hanged out with like a group of cheese boys? Like, their go-to is, let's fight them, bro. I want to go Australia, bro. And you look at that and you go, oh, bro, I've been through situations where saying that on its own has sparked someone dying. Do you hear what I'm saying? And it's like, because I've seen it and I've noticed it and I've been through it, I don't want to fight for stupid things. Like, if someone wants a hand that I'll be vying with and she's not my hand, fade it. As long as she's saying, oh wait, I'm going with that person. Calm, bro, vibe. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to start an argument or a confrontation with a person just because we are talking. Like, boo, let me just try. Yeah, bro, as I was saying, like, I'm not about to start a whole fight. Do you get what I'm saying? Just because no muntu othi ntombi yakhe wana. Don't back, bro. It's nothing, don't back, because first of all, I'm not even going to mention the fact that his girlfriend wanted to be there. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not important information at that point in time. Why the fuck would I tell someone that, yo, bro, your girlfriend is a hoe, or your girlfriend is a B word, bro? It's not my job, dog. Like, he probably knows it. He doesn't want reaffirmation of the fact that they're not paying me. The fact that what's this? That his girl is not the one, bro. Like, why would I even tell her that? And when you understand that, even when someone says, dude, we're supposed to fight for that girl, bro. We're supposed to fight for that girl. That girl chose you, dog. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? It's not worth it, bro. It's not a fight that I'm willing to fight, bro. It's not a situation that I'm willing to go to, bro. And I know myself, and I don't know the guy, bro. What if the guy is strong and he beats me up to a point whereby I need to go to the hospital? Or what if the guy is weak and I start beating him up, and because I'm intoxicated, I beat him up to a point where he needs to go to the hospital? Now I'm either in jail or the hospital, and those are two choices that I'm not willing to pick over a hand that I don't even know that I just met right now. It's not really the smart situation, and people keep on forgetting that, bro. I'm like, yo, dog, I can't believe you're fighting for hands, dog. For a honey, bro. I can get any honey, bro. Like, genuinely speaking, I bag myself on that, bro. Like, I can get a lot of honeys that I want. You get what I'm saying? Like I remember this one time I went to a club, I got her a hand, and when we were about to vie, she was like, "Aight, dog, me, I don't want to vie with you anymore. Calm." We vied second location, I got another hand, dog. It's as simple as that, bro. You don't need to really put yourself in a situation where it's uncomfortable for you to even like move on with your life, bro. I'm not that angry at life. Cool with life, bro. I'm happy.
Said, no, peace is not what's the conversation. You're this, you're that, da-da. Because he's always sitting behind his desk. He must have a booster chair, and he's always running his mouth trying to invoke violence and call for war. And I find it kind of hypocritical, because a man who's so small he would die if he was slapped on the street, sitting behind a desk and screaming for other people to be annihilated, I think is kind of, it's worse than
I believe
it's insane.
I believe if he was sitting here listening to this, he would say that what he's screaming for is for Jewish people in Israel to defend themselves. And
All
he's a Jewish
Ben
man.
does is call for war. And I agree. Defending yourself.
That's not all he does.
That's all he does. And calling for war and defending yourself is very different than genocide. And Ben, like I said, overall, most of Ben's worldviews and mine probably align. We don't align on the religious sect. We don't rely on the religious points. Fine. But our overall worldviews about how society should function probably align on many of the key issues. I don't have a beef with Ben, and I don't watch his show, and I have no idea what he talks about a lot of the time. But what I do know is that every time I turn it on, he's calling for someone else's son to go and die in a ditch somewhere for his interests. And I don't like people who are not advocates for peace. Blessed are the peacemakers, said Tate, who's far more intelligent than Ben will ever be. And she is completely right. He replied that rhetoric, starting an argument with me, when I said we should talk about peace. I say we should talk about peace. He calls for the death of civilians, and somehow we're asking why my point of view is seen as abstract. It's insane. Why can't we all just sit down and say the fighting must end? Why can't we do that? Why can't we sit and say, nobody should be dying, let's stop using the most advanced military weaponry on the planet to blow the limbs off children? Why can't we say that without being deemed some kind of terrorist sympathizer or anti-Semite? It's insanity. Trump came along and didn't start a single war. He's the only one who didn't. And they're going to come along him and say...
And that's my chat, dog. Like, I feel like this whole situation could have been handled so more peacefully, dog. Like, imagine if us as South Africans, I'm a fucking word, man. See, when it's hard, you let things in, bro, that you don't know. That's deep. But then you get what I'm saying? Imagine if one man did all of them, right? They went to prison for 27 years, bro. How? Hey, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go too deep on that. But you get what I'm saying? Like, imagine if we got to a point as South Africans where it's like, okay, you know what? We're going to blow up all the places that the Afrikaners go to just so we can. You get what I'm saying? Like, recently, let me give you a fair example of how YT people think, right? Remember when Julius Malema sang that song, Kill the Boer, Kill the what? The first response is, America should help Boers in SA so that they can get away with, so that they can be safe, because the people of SA are asking for genocide, right? And it's like, no, it doesn't. It's a struggle song, bro. It's a struggle song. It's how South Africans at that point in time are feeling. And the fact that they're looking at that song and they're saying that we are provoking genocide means that if it got to that point, we were going to be called terrorists, dog. We're going to be called terrorists. today we're going to be called terrorists because we were fighting against apartheid. Even how bad apartheid is, and talking about Elon Musk, who got or probably benefited from it. You get what I'm saying? Because he lived in Cape Town, and probably that was peak. it was, I mean, they're still experiencing it there. It was peak there at that point in time, bro. It was peak. You get what I'm saying? It was peak, dog. So he probably benefited from it and is looking at it and is going, yeah, they calling for the genocide of white people, of farmers in SA. No, nigga, we not. It's just a song to express ourselves. It's a creature, bro. Is it even a creature? I don't know what it is, bro. But you get what I'm saying?
Makes him a bad guy. When a new president comes in, it's just endless war and death and killing. Have you seen a dead body, Piers? Have you seen people lose a fucking limb? It's disgusting. I know what's happening over there.
Have you seen that?
I don't need to tell you about the parts of my history that I'm not prepared to share, Piers.
You've seen people...
I said it to Ben. I said people who have done their own fighting and seen their own violence and have seen people bleed out in the street from a stab wound are not going to be so smart and so quick to sit behind a desk and call for the death of innocent people. It's disgusting what's happening. I don't want anyone to die on either side. And when I come along as a peacemaker and say, this is insane, because he's a warmonger, because he has chosen blinkers and sees one side of the argument and refuses to accept the humanity of Palestinians, he says I'm a bad person for calling for peace.
Well, you know why? Because he'll probably listen to this interview and say, this guy can't even describe Hamas as terrorists.
If Ben Shapiro thinks bad of
And if you don't think what happened to the people in Israel on October the 7th is an act of terrorism,
did I not just say?
Then you are.
I want all people.
Then
to
you are
stop dying.
just as partisan to one side as you believe Ben Shapiro
Did
is
I
to the other.
not just say I want all people to start dying? Stop dying. Piers, don't interrupt this. It's 2 sentences. I want all people to stop dying. However, I understand what is going to happen when you create a pressure cooker. That is my answer, and it's extremely professional. I don't want anyone to die, and because I don't want anyone to die, because I'm a peacemaker, because I'm a humanist, I understand you cannot lock people in an open-air prison for an undetermined period of time without provoking terrorism.
So out of interest, what would you have done if you'd been Israel after October the 7th?
That's a really interesting question, and I think there's people who are more qualified.
True, man. True. Like, by the way, man, my views are not really on the fact that it's justifiable or whatever, but it is a terror. Well, it is a terrorist attack, man. Unfortunately, that's what it is, man. When you start killing innocent civilians for the sake of, I don't know what the reason is or why they did that, but it's an act of terror, bro. You get what I'm saying? Whether it's justifiable, whether it's not, it's an act of terror. However you want to look at it, you get what I'm saying? It's an act of terror, but then, like, how long was that thing happening, bro? And why was the public not so for it? Like, why were we not fighting it before it got to that point? Before October the 7th, why didn't we talk about it, bro? Like, it wasn't spoken about. So let's see. Me, I didn't even know, bro. Some people are still going through apartheid like in other countries. You get what I'm saying? I was looking at it and I was thinking that doesn't happen, bro. I thought like the only situation that's like that is probably like Hong Kong. It's Hong Kong. And I don't know, man, but there's a country where there's a dictator. But also he doesn't do that, bro. You get what I'm saying? And when I look at it, I think his situation is probably, I think people in that country probably live better than what the Palestinians were going through in that situation. You get what I'm saying? Because yes, he has some self-provoking, very bad views on certain things, but at the same time you can look at them and go, okay, that's really not really that deep or whatever. You get what I'm saying? But where you look at, yeah, but that jail, your whole family thing is wild. But when you look at the Hamas thing, bro, not the Hamas, the Palestine thing, man, it's you look at that and you go, wow, man, they were really treated like animals, dog. You get what I'm saying? They were really treated like they were evil or something. You get? That's sad, bro. Like I can't like there's things that I can't imagine going through, bro. And that's one of them. Like I can't imagine myself going through apartheid or being afraid of the police, always carrying a pass, always ensuring that I have a reason why I need to go to town, being treated like a second class citizen, bro. Right? And you look at it and you go, bro, there were people that were making money during those days. And I'm not talking about small money, I'm talking about big money. Which means that there were people that were cool with this whole situation happening, bro. Do you get? And I think as South Africans, we're going through something like that, bro, where the government is controlling us, and not controlling us, but starving us. I'm a boom, bro. So I wanted to end with this, like, just register to vote, man. If I post this video, I'm probably gonna post it next Wednesday. Yeah, when I'm home. So, bro, just register to vote, bro. Like, I swear, bro, you're never gonna regret it. And then there's one next year, dog, to vote about, bro. Like, just register, bro. Otherwise, peace.
Things did not go well for a while. And it was hard to see. It's just nice to win one.